Hello everybody, this is Llodg, and today I am talking about why I love Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core. Crisis Core was originally released for the PSP, but it was remastered to be on every current console. For this video I am playing it off of the Xbox version, but since this game means a lot to me, I even bought another copy for the PS5. Also, I wanted to get this video out way earlier, but you know, life happens. Still, I really wanted to talk about Crisis Core and what I loved about the original game. I played it for the first time 5 years ago, shortly before Square Enix's 2019 E3, because I felt that there might be some Crisis Core stuff in that presentation. I don't think there's really anything in that presentation, but you know, I still like playing the game as a standalone thing. Crisis Core is a prequel to the original 97 FF7 game where you play as Zack Fair in his journey as a Shenmue soldier. The basic story is built upon what we already know from the original game, but there is also quite a bit added in here, stuff that works well within the original vision, and some stuff that doesn't. But honestly, I just enjoy it for what it is. Like yeah, it's goofy, but I just love that so much about this game. The story honestly feels like a stage play with some characters being overly dramatic, but I really love that.
Stop! Cloud! Good work!
But nobody knows where the Genova cells are being kept. Not even Hojo knows. You'll never find it.
Then I shall willingly accept my fate. But I'll take the world with me.
I know a lot of people don't care for Genesis, but him reading Loveless will always be iconic to me, and his design is just so cool. The story is probably at its best when it's retelling the original 97 game. Finally seeing it from Zack's proper perspective is amazing. Also seeing Cloud being who he really is great. But being able to play as Zack, a character you mostly only hear about in FF7, is really cool, because you also get to see him grow into the character we know. He started off as a soldier who is referred to as a puppy, but grows up to be the soldier that everyone looks up to. Seeing how Zack grew throughout the game is just one of my favorite things ever, and how he both uses Angeal's Buster Sword and even grows to look more physically like his old mentor is such a cool detail. This game is also what cemented Aerith as Aerith to me and not Aeris, because before this I just called her Aeris because that's the only name I knew her as. Like I knew her name was Aerith and it was a mistranslation and all, but after I played Crisis Core I never went back to calling her Aeris. Also, I really just love Zack and Aerith's relationship throughout the game. It's so sweet and gave me even more to love about Aerith's character. It also makes the game so tragic in how it ends, but I won't be talking about that too much. Maybe another video, another time. I know this is Zack's game, but Cloud's moments in this game are also so good. Seeing him battle against Sephiroth despite Sephiroth being way out of his league was such a cool scene. Cloud literally battling the odds and defeating the best soldier in Shinra, something that even Zack couldn't do.
Don't test me. No. Impossible.
I just really love when Crisis Core gets to let us see original FF7 moments. This is the game that also made me really fall in love with Sephiroth. Seeing his fall was so cool to experience, especially since I've primarily thought of him as a villain, but seeing him at one point and be good, and then completely lose it and turn evil has got to be one of my favorite character arcs. Though I guess that really isn't exclusive to Crisis Core, but this is the game that really made me fall in love with it. The Turks are also really cool in this game, getting to see a little more inside view of how they work. It helps that they're also allies in this game. Maybe I just like it when villains are allies. Even brand new characters like Cissnei have a special place in my heart. Oh, also Console. I popped off when his name was mentioned in Remake. Oh, we even get to see Yuffie.
I'm Wutai's greatest warrior. It's over for you because now you have to face me.
A little kid?
Overall, the combat is fine. The Reunion Remaster has made it a lot better in my opinion. It still feels like a test version for how Remake's combat would end up, but a lot more primitive. The DMW system is pretty cool, though very random, but when you get a character's cutscene, it can be pretty nice. Also, it really pays off at the end of the game, but again, maybe another time. You're also going to hear
activating combat mode
a lot throughout this game.
Activating combat mode. Activating combat mode. Activating combat mode. Activating combat mode.
The boss fights, especially summons, will always be amazing. Talking about the summons, the CGI cutscenes for when they attack are some of my favorite CGI cutscenes in games. Honestly, I really love all the CGI cutscenes about the game. Since it was a PSP game, the character models looked fine enough, but seeing the CGI cutscenes was like a breath of fresh air. Though now with the remaster, these cutscenes aren't as big of a deal, but I still really love them, especially since I get to see them on a big screen. One of my favorite cutscenes ever is this fight with Sephiroth, Genesis, and Angeal. It's just so cool in everything that I love about these games.
Angeal.
Out of my way!
Genesis!
I really love the overall look of this game too. Like, obviously they're using designs from the original game, but Crisis Core is what cemented these designs in my head of what FF7 should look like, and I'm so glad that Remake just seemed to build off of it. I also just really love that even in the remaster, they aren't afraid to use flip phones. I just really love that they use them. The music in this game is also one of my favorite soundtracks in gaming. I mean, to me, Crisis Core soundtrack was what Remake soundtrack is 13 years earlier. You have new tracks that are based off of these old FF7 tracks, and they are great. They even changed some of the tracks, like instead of One Winged Angel, they now have Vengeance on the World, which is similar enough but gives a breath of fresh air to one of my favorite tracks in gaming. One of my favorite original tracks has to be True Motives. I always think of this scene with Zack fighting against Angeal, and the start with the strings and piano is so good.
Have you lost it? Stop it! Someone's waiting for you, no? Angeal, don't do this.
The voice acting is really good too, even if the script isn't amazing, but again, I really love the cheesy story, so I'm all good. The remastered voices are also really good. The only one I'm really bummed about changing is Sephiroth's voice. His old one was just so iconic, but I was never taken out of the moment with his new voice actor. Also, I really liked Zack's old voice actor, but I'm not as attached as I am to Sephiroth's. Overall, I just really love this game. I was so excited when a remaster got announced, and I still love this game years later. Even seeing these cutscenes brings me back to the first time I played Crisis Core. This game got me through a pretty tough time in my life, and I'm so happy I can play it on a big screen. Even looking back through the footage, I'm just so happy I've experienced this game. Maybe I'm just a big FF7 fan, but man, I just love this game. It's goofy and cheesy, but I love it. It knows when to get serious and when to use nostalgia. I wanted to keep this video fairly short and just talk about how much I love Crisis Core. But maybe one day I'll do a more formal, in-depth video about this game. I know there's a lot more to be said. If you're interested in Crisis Core, please play it. It's fairly short and a great time. Crisis Core is the reason I love Zack so much, and I'm just so happy it exists. I hope you enjoyed the video, have a good day, and goodbye.